So we are here today with Shawnelle,
Yes, ma'am.
another entrepreneur on our 50 Days of 50 Bosses, and she is going to tell us about herself, her business, and then of course she's going to pick a card and let us know her experiences as an entrepreneur. So you can go ahead.
So my name is Shawnelle Turman. I am a registered nurse. I have been in the nursing field since I was 19, so since 2009. I started out as a CNA, and I've done a little bit of everything in nursing. In 2018, I actually decided that I wanted to step off into entrepreneurship, and I wanted to start a CNA program. So I do run a CNA program now, but it did not start until 2021. So don't think that because you have a dream now that it's going to happen right now. So 2018, I started going to seminars and started getting myself educated on the ins and outs of running a CNA program. And then COVID hit. And when COVID hit, they were paying nurses crazy money that I couldn't pass up. So I put my dreams to the side to go, quote unquote, chase the bag. I realized that I did not like the micromanagement that nursing was heading towards. And so I went back into that. I need to get myself together to become my own boss. So in March of 21, we launched our first CNA class. And since then, we've put over 200 people through our program that are licensed by the state of Indiana, or certified by the state of Indiana to be CNAs. After that, we started a home care agency, which is Star Home Care Services. We took our first client in June of last year of 23. We currently service the Indianapolis and surrounding areas. And the good thing about that is we also employ our students who have graduated from our program. So it's a full wraparound service, if you will. So you come through the program, you do good in class, we got a position for you when you finish the program. So that's kind of a little bit of what we do in a nutshell.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear that everything just fell in line for you. And I think that's really awesome that you're able to provide the certification for them and then boom, they've got a job. That's so important. That's really awesome. So what I'm going to ask you to do, I've already given her our deck of cards. So she's going to pick a card and we'll see what it says. Go ahead and read it out for us.
Is there something that is simply non-negotiable for you? That's so funny because I was just talking with someone earlier today about that. Non-negotiable for me is my value. I know that I come to the table with a lot of knowledge because, like I said, I've been in the nursing field for a while. I'm a registered nurse and I finished nursing school in 2012. So that's 10 plus years as a nurse that I come with experience. And I used to sell myself short, like just give my knowledge away that I paid for, that I spent my time obtaining. And I felt like I can't do that anymore. Not that I don't want to help people, but I can't just give you the playbook and there's nothing coming in return. And it doesn't necessarily even have to be monetary that comes in return. Like, can I learn from you? Can I grow from you? So I think what's non-negotiable for me now are meaningless connections. And so I don't want to be misconstrued as having a user mindset because I'm not that at all. But what is the purpose of us being connected? Am I growing from you? Am I learning from you? And it doesn't even have to be business sense. Am I learning some life skills from you? Am I learning how to juggle better from you or something of the above? So like non-negotiable, I can't do meaningless connections anymore.
That was great. I must say, I agree with you 100%. And thank you so much for that. I think we'll go ahead. Let's hear some more from you. Go ahead and pick one more card. Let's see what we can hear. But that was awesome. I think a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we do devalue ourselves by feeling that we should provide information or resources to entitled people who've not gone through the things that we've gone through, have not made the sacrifices, but feel like because they just showed up, you should give that to them.
I think my biggest thing is people feel like because of who they are to me, their relationship to me, their title to me, that I'm supposed to just do and give. And I don't feel like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because I felt like I was pouring and pouring and pouring, and no one was pouring back into me.
Understood.
So our next question says, what made you decide to branch out on your own and start your own business? I really think what made me jump off was COVID, because COVID showed me how disposable I was to these companies. Because I remember showing up to work one day. I went out to New York and traveled during COVID. And I remember showing up one day and they were like, we don't have any PPE. And for those of you who don't know what PPE is, that's personal protective equipment. So they didn't have things for me to be able to go into these patients' rooms that had this quote unquote deadly infection. And I'm like, okay, well, what are we doing? I will never ever forget this. They pulled out a roll of trash bags. And they said that we could cut armholes in them to use them as gowns. And I was like just floored and blown away by the lack of concern about our safety as employees. And not only that, I worked all through COVID, all through 2020, and then 2021 came and this vaccine came out, and my job was threatened because I didn't want to take the vaccine. And it showed me like I'm disposable, and these companies will get rid of you in a heartbeat and put someone else in your position. And so it was that for me that was like, I know that I know what I bring to the table as far as knowledge. And I had held management positions and things of that nature. And I'm like, okay, I can run a unit, so I can run my own business. And it has been trial and error. And it's always going to forever be trial and error. But I feel like the biggest thing is, if you decide to go entrepreneur, don't ever get so high that you feel like you're unteachable. Because no matter how much knowledge you have, there's someone out there that has just a little bit more than you do. And so, like I said, I feel like I could do it myself, if you will. And then my daughter got sick. And it made it to where I had to be available for her. I had to be available for doctor's appointments. I had to be available for these things, but I still have bills as well. And working as a nurse, 12-hour shifts, I was not available for my kid. And that was something else that kind of put things in perspective for me and just made me take that leap and take that jump of faith. And I'm glad that I did, because I have been full-time entrepreneur with no employer for 4 months. And it feels amazing. And that's the first time in my life. I've been working since I was 15 and I'm 34. And that's the first time in my life that I haven't had an employer. And so it feels good to be signing both sides of the check.
All right. Thank you so much for your input. And I wish continued success for you and all your endeavors. And thank you for taking time out with me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.